Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow.
Welcome back to another episode of Lone Star College Football. We've got the pregame show for Texas, number 3 in the country, at home versus number 24, Kansas.
Ooh, scary.
It's not often you get to play a ranked Kansas team. All right.
It's not. It's not at all.
Last year, they started off hot. Quarterback gets hurt. What's his name? Jason Bean comes in.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Went 0-5. And then Daniels comes back for the Texas game, but I don't know if he was fully healed because I think we beat them like 55-14.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
We handled. Yeah, I want to say in that game we had over 400 yards rushing, so it wasn't anything too difficult for us. Honestly, I feel like the game plan should probably be about the same for this year. Let me look at this box score real quick for Texas. Quinn Ewers literally managed the game. 12 completions, 107 yards, 1 touchdown. Bijan Robinson, 25 carries for 243 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jonathan Brooks, 11 for 108 and 2 touchdowns. We had 427 yards on the ground and averaged 7.5 yards per carry.
That's insane.
So, yeah, I think if our game plan's about the same, results should be semi-close. But at the same time, we think this Kansas team is better than they were last year, offensively and defensively, I would say. Jalen Daniels last year, 17 of 26, 230, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Devin Neal, 13 carries for 51 yards. I don't think we'll hold Devin Neal under 51 yards this year. I think he's a pretty well all-around back, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him be probably the best running back we've played all year. Their run D is also solid, where they gave up 427 yards on the ground to us last year. So far in this season, they're only giving up 93 yards per game. I do personally think Texas will beat that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get in the 150 range just because I think our offensive line is going to be able to bully their D-line a little bit. But by no means, which as a Texas fan, you should never say Kansas is an easy win. But by no means is this Kansas team the same team from a decade ago. Logan, what are your thoughts?
I think that Kansas' offense looks pretty good this year. Defense is looking a lot better than what it did last year. But at the same time, I think that y'all just recruit and got people out of the transfer portal a lot differently than other Big 12 schools. So I think that trenches are going to win y'all this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brooks go over 100 yards rushing again this year. I think Quinn is stepping up really well this year. I think that he's seeing the ball or he's seeing the field better. I don't know if it's his haircut or what, but he's looking good. So that's good to see. I think that y'all's main key to winning this game is stopping the run from both Neal and Daniels. I mean, I don't think that their defense is going to be able to stop y'all's run game, and even if they do, you got crazy athletic receivers and Jatavion Sanders, who, remind you, first or second best tight end in the nation, depends on who you're talking to.
Even talking to me, I don't think he's better than Brock Bowers.
I think this year he looks better than Brock Bowers, but that's mainly because Carson Beck is garbage.
That's true.
So, but yeah, their defense has improved, but at the same time, y'all's offense is still great. I mean, what's the spread on this one? I forgot off the top of my head.
17 right now.
I'll see 16.5 on ESPN.
Going down.
But I would lean that y'all cover that. I think it also helps. Yeah, I think it also helps that it's at DKR, and y'all are pretty good at filling that stadium up.
Yeah, we do that well, and I think especially in a ranked game, I think we will. The concern is that we average 35 points a game. They're averaging 37.5 points per game. Their offense is no no easy force to be reckoned with. They get 217 yards on the ground, averaging. I will say, and this is where it is tough, is that it's only week 5, and so the looking at someone's stats and say, oh, well, we do this per game, we do that per game. The schedules, they've only played 4 games. And so if you've played a really tough game in there, it's going to kind of weigh it out. Where we played Alabama, and say what you want about Wyoming, but Wyoming, I don't believe is bad. They are 3-1. Where Kansas has played BYU, which is by far their toughest game of the season.
But it's at
Nevada,
home.
right?
That would mean a lot more if it was in Provo.
That's true. Nevada, where they only won by 7. The Fighting Illini, where they were able to win by 11, and then Missouri State, who they beat 48-17. You look at the competition and you say, it's not even. It's definitely not even. So it's hard to look at it. And
I'm willing to bet that Rice beats 2 of those teams right there on their schedule.
Yeah, hey, maybe. I'm looking at the rushing yards per game. Yeah, they had like 225 and 265 in week 1 and 2. 143 against Nevada, who they only beat by 7, and then 221 last week against BYU.
Now, Illinois was 1-1 whenever they played. I want to know what they are now. They're 2-2 with the loss to Penn State and Kansas. Wins against Toledo and FAU. So their 2 wins are teams that they should have blown out. They only beat FAU by 6, beat Toledo by 2, 38-28. So I think Rice beats 3 of those teams because Illinois looks terrible this year.
Not to mention Jalen Daniels, his stats on the year, he's got 705 yards passing. 357 of those were last week, over half. He's got 5 touchdowns. 3 of those were last week, over half. So all things considered, it's tough, but they do have they have a 2-headed monster in the backfield with Devin Neal and Daniel Hishaw Jr. Both of those guys are running solid 6.9 and 7.1 yards per carry with 8 touchdowns between the 2 of them.
Also want to point out that Daniels didn't play week 1.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
So, I mean, he's throwing 75%. It's not bad by any means. No. 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Then he didn't throw a touchdown or an interception against Nevada. He was 21 for 20 of 27 against them for 298 yards. I mean, last week he only threw for 130. He's not looking bad at all. He only threw the ball 19 times last week, though. So
yeah,
they might have just game planned to run.
As far as the running game goes, they're averaging, what did I say? It was 217 yards on the ground. If you tell me right now Texas holds them under 150, I think we win I think we can cover the 17. If we let them get to 200, I think it's going to be really tough. It's a tough team, and I want to be so confident, but dude, as a Texas fan, you see us win, and it's like, all right, it's any week now. It's any week now where we just don't show
up. Used to this anymore. I get it. But Christian, let me just be the person to help you out here. But you have the best defense in the country. You have what? Who has a better defense?
Probably a lot of teams. We have. I don't even know the statistic for this week. Going into last week, we had the number 1 efficient defense, and I can't even tell you what that means exactly.
I don't think anybody can.
I just know that was the stat. I don't know what our overall defense is ranked, but I know it's not number 1. If I had to guess, it's probably top 20, top 15 maybe.
Well, you still have a top 15 defense.
Kansas, check this out. Kansas is the number 1 team in the country right now on third down conversions.
Against who?
Doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of schools in the FBS that Oklahoma hasn't played anybody worth a crap either, and they're not number 1 at it.
True.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that could be up on that list ahead of them, and they're not. We should win. We should cover. Just statistically speaking, our players are just way better than theirs. But Lance Leipold, dude, don't count him out. He's a heck of a coach. Baylor would be doing something smart by getting rid of Aranda and going and get Lance. He wouldn't leave for y'all, but shoot, if he would, I'd take him. Bama might take him whenever Nick retires.
No, they're waiting for Steve.
No, they're waiting for Prime.
That's going to be one heck of a storyline whenever that all unfolds.
It will be. This game, it's really just a matchup of the trenches. I think it's the run game. Whoever does better in the run game, this one is going to win. Jaylen Daniels is more than capable of throwing the ball. Quinn Ewers, we've seen kind of a back and forth, but he is capable of throwing the ball well. Yeah, it's the run game. Who controls the clock, which Kansas is pretty good at doing so far this year, and Texas is actually slacking. Special teams. We cannot give Kansas the freaking ball in the red zone.
They might actually be able to score.
Oh, they will. However, I will say, and listening to Cover 3 Sports, y'all check them out if y'all are not, because they do great analysis of some games. Texas has one of the worst red zone offenses in the country. It's like 103rd or something. We get in the red zone, we kick field goals. Kansas has like the 111th red zone defense. So something's got to give. We've got an offense that gets in the red zone and don't want to score, and they've got a defense that lets teams get in the red zone and score. So either we're going to score and win the game. That might be it. Who wins more in the red zone? That could be the game right there.
Who's worse in the red zone is what's going to lose the game.
Please don't let us be us. Don't let us be worse.
Oh, man.
That's really all the analysis I have on it, man. It's just it's going to be a kind of like a Big Ten game, if you ask me. We're both going to run the ball a lot. It might be a short game, might be low scoring, just because we both like to run the rock.
I'm taking the under on 61.
Yeah, that could be a really good pick.
It could be really good or it could be really bad. Depends on what kind of offense wants to show up for either team. Because Kansas can still throw the ball. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can still throw it.
We beat them 55-14 last year, and then the year before that, they beat us 56-54.
Yeah, I might be taking the over. I lied.
Yeah, it might
just based off of history alone.
History alone says there's likely this is either a shootout or somebody's going to blow the other team away. So, either way, leave a comment with your score prediction if y'all made it this far in the video. We appreciate y'all. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time, welcome.